Okay, let's check our work and see how we did. So like Harper said, this first one, pretty simple. You add up all the numbers. Gabby, when you did that, what did you get?
30.
30 what?
Centimeters.
30 centimeters. So make sure that's what you have, because even though it's super simple, a very easy calculator mistake and your answer's wrong. All right, remember, we're solving for perimeter. So we have this side, which is 8, which means this is 8, correct? And we have this side, which is 5. The problem is we don't have this side right here. So the way we find that is, first of all, we know that perimeter or circumference is 2 pi r. Now the r is 2.5 because it's half of this. You see how this lines up with this? So half of the 5 is the 2.5. Now, we don't have a full circle, so we have to divide this by 2 because it's a half circle, right? All right, so then that ends up being 7.85 when we plug that in our calculator correctly. So this is 7.85. Now, when I add 7.85, 8, 8, and 5, Kellen, what did you get when you added up all of those?
28.85 centimeters.
28.85, and like she said and labeled her units, centimeters. So double check that that's what you got. Now, over here, we have the 12, we have the 5. We know this is 12, right? And this is 12. We're missing this side, which is the hypotenuse. So, how do we find that, Harper? How do we find that hypotenuse?
The other side is 12.
Very good. She said this is 12, so that's the base.
So you do 5 squared plus 12 squared equals c squared.
She's using Pythagorean theorem. And then what did that give you whenever you solved for that?
169. And then c equals 13.
Very good. So she found this hypotenuse to be 13, and now we can add up all these sides. Logan, what did you get whenever you added up all those sides?
54 meters.
54 meters. Okay, moving on to area. You got to kind of switch your mind a bit from perimeter to area. Okay, so you see that this is 5. That means this is 5. So to find half of that, I would need half of this. That tells us that this is 2.5. So to find area of a triangle, we know it's 1/2 base times height, right? The height is 2. So when we plug that in, we're going to get each of those to be 2.5, which makes sense because see how that cancels? So both of these are 2.5. And then 8 times 5 is 40. So, Gabby, what'd you get when you added 40 and then 2.5 and 2.5? 45 centimeters squared. Remember, area is square units. Okay, this one right here was a little bit of a challenge. We just needed to remember that a circle is pi r squared. So if this is 20, we know the radius to be 10, right? So pi 10 squared divided by 2, because we don't need a full circle, we need a half circle. So when we plug that in our calculator, we get 157. Now, I don't know if you remember this, but the formula for a trapezoid, which is what this is right here, is where you add the bases times the height and divide by 2. So we have 20 plus 32 times the height of 14, divide by 2, and that comes out to 364. So when we add the area of the half circle and the area of the trapezoid, Kellen, what did you get when you added those together? 364 plus the 157.
Oh,
Did you add those together?
no, I think I circled the wrong thing.
Punch that in for me and tell me what you get.
521
521, and how do we label that when it's area?
millimeters squared.
Millimeters squared. Good. And if you went ahead and just found like a triangle and did a rectangle plus a triangle, or like Harper did, if you draw that in and subtract that from this rectangle here, either way, you'll get the right answer. So don't feel like you have to use one right way. I'm happy as long as you get the right answer. Okay, this one's asking us to find the areas of the shaded region only. So first thing, let's find the area of the rectangle, the whole thing. So Gabby, how do you find the area of a rectangle 18 by 16?
So would you do 18 times 16, which is 288?
Perfect. 288 is the whole thing. But they don't want the whole thing, do they? They want us to subtract this triangle out. Now, I need to know the base in order to do base times height divided by 2. So how am I going to find this? If I know that this is 16,
You're going to do 16 squared plus b squared equals 20 squared.
yeah, 16 squared plus b squared equals 20 squared. We're going to use Pythagorean theorem in order to find that missing base that I needed. So 400 take out 256 is 144. Take the square root. That means b is 12. So I know that this is 12. Now I can do base times height divide by 2 to find what this is. All right, so 1/2 base times height, and what do we get for that? 96. So this area is 96. So we're going to minus this, take out that, which is 192. Is that what y'all got? Meters squared. That's just the shaded. Okay, last one. Well, this is obviously a square because they gave us one side only, so we know that this is 22 times 22. So 22 times 22 is 484. All right, save that for later. Now we need to find the area of the circle. Well, we know half of 22 is 11. So there's my radius. So pi r, which is 11, squared. Punch that in, you're going to get 379.94. So we're going to take the area of the square, whoops, minus the area of the circle, and we're going to get 104.06 meters squared. All right, questions on any of those? Then let's move on to our last lesson of the day, which is investigation 4. It's called hinge theorem. Let me go over these theorems with you real quick, 41 and 40.2. So, this first theorem says if two sides of a pair of triangles are congruent and the included angle of one is greater than the other, then the side with the greater angle is greater. So this is kind of another duh statement, meaning you see how we have two sides congruent to two sides? And you see how the included angle is greater than this one? That means that this is greater. So let me show you what I mean. I'll do highlighting. So AB is green. AB is green. DE is blue. DE is blue. Do you see how DE has 110? Do you see how AB has 105? Because remember how earlier we said opposites? So that means that our answer is DE is greater. Isn't that a piece of cake? That's all that theorem is saying. I know sometimes these words can be overwhelming because it's like, what did you just say? So I want to use a visual to help you understand what I'm talking about. Okay, look up here. Theorem 40.2. If two sides of a pair of triangles are congruent and the third side, earlier we said the angle. The third side of one triangle is greater than the third side of the other, then the largest side has the largest angle. So see down here where it says, I'll use highlighting again. Measure of angle 1, so that's there. And measure of angle 2, so that's there. Do you see how the 8 is bigger than the 7? So that means since 8's bigger than 7, angle 2 is bigger than angle 1. Isn't that a piece of cake? Okay, so because it's so easy, will you please do 2, 4, 5, and 6, the ones I haven't done with you? 2, 4, 5, and 6.
Can they be equal to though?
They can be. Good question. Yes, they can be equal to. Logan, what'd you get for number 2?
Number 2 got equal.
Harper, what'd you get for 4?
Equal.
Kellen, what'd you get for 5?
LS is greater.
Gabby, what'd you get for 6?
I didn't
Oh, whoops, sorry. Did I rush you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'll wait. You tell me whenever you get number 6.
I'm highlighting.
I see that. I love it. It's very visual.
Angle 1 is greater than.
Yes, angle 1 is greater because it has the 8 versus the 7. Okay, now this one wants us to write an inequality. Okay, so take a look at this one right here. Do you see how they gave us these values? Are you looking? Which one's going to be more, the 31 or the 2x minus 3 if we look at their opposite sides?
31.
Yes, thank you. So this is what we're going to write. Ready? We're going to write 31 greater than, write that down, 31 greater than 2x minus 3. And then we're just going to solve. We're going to add 3 to both sides. And we're going to get 34 greater than 2x. How do we get the 2 off the x? Very good. What I do to one side, I do the other. What is 34 divided by 2?
17.
Yeah. And y'all could have written it like this. If y'all don't like, either one of these is right. As long as the 17's more. It doesn't matter which direction.
If they were equal to, would you just set it up equal to themselves?
Yes. Okay, will you try this one over here? All right, Kellen, how'd you set this one up?
So I did 4 is greater than 2x minus 7.
4 or 41?
41, sorry.
41, you did that less than?
I said it was greater than, because I looked at the 5 and the 5
Yeah,
is
more, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you would add 7 to the 41.
Add 7,
So
I
you would
agree.
get 48. And then 48 divided by 2 is 24. And then you do 24 is greater than 2x minus 7.
Or actually, you wouldn't leave your answer like that. So anything smaller than 24 can be an answer. Anything smaller than 17 can be an answer. That's why it says possible values. There's more than just one right answer. There's a range of answers. That's what inequalities do. There's not just one right answer. As long as x is smaller than 24, it counts. All right.